Hi, my name's Rae Lin. I am a basketball player in Italy. I study theology, and I love Jesus. Growing up in Racine, Wisconsin was an amazing experience. I'm the fifth of 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls. I did everything from football to wrestling to baseball to basketball. We all kind of had these identities that were attached to sport. I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison on a basketball scholarship. Things were good in the first 8 months of my freshman year of college. And then as I started to get into the late part of my freshman year, I think I was just changing inside. I started to drink. I had never drunk up until that point. And I started to get drunk and experience just the college-style life. I started smoking marijuana. I also got into an ungodly relationship. I was just living for me, and there was no satisfaction in that. So I would try to go to church during this period, and I couldn't do it. I felt such like a hypocrite, so I would sit down, and I would just go, okay, there's no way. There's no way I can be here right now with the way that I'm living. I need help. I was definitely desperate. I came back on campus and everybody thought I was just crazy because it was all about Jesus. I remember I was going in classes and secular classes, and I'm just like sharing that and sharing it with my teammates. So I had no idea what theology was. I had no idea that this could impact my vision of who God was, which then would impact the way I lived. God opened a door for me to go to Salerno, Italy, to go play on a team, and me and my sister moved out there, and we had no community. So there's not a lot of evangelical churches in Italy, and with no community, we would just listen to sermons online. So right in that period was where desiring God really started to come to play in my life. And I just remember in that year of my life, it was just eat real food and then go eat of spiritual food and like go fill up and be satisfied by sermons. And it was just like sermon after sermon. And then me and my sister would just like then talk about them. So she's listening to one, I'm listening to another, and then we would just like, hey, what are you learning? And we would just kind of feed off one another, and it was a huge blessing for me. Discovering these truths just produced in me the want to let everybody know, just the ability to get this resource into people's hands, I think it can really change lives. One summer in particular, I really was struggling with fear and anxiety. It was bothering me so much that I was putting on Piper sermons and like these clips in the middle of the night at like 3 a.m. And then I even started studying Romans. So like during that period, I was just like, I want to understand this stuff more. Okay, sermon number 1, go into the archive at Desiring God. Romans chapter 1, verse 1, boom. And I just literally went sermon by sermon. It was a lot of content coming at me, but stuff where I was going, oh my goodness. To hear the simple truth that God is most glorified in us when we are most satisfied in Him, for me was like the staple truth of life. My joy does not depend on any circumstance or any other human being or anything that has to do with my personality trait. Anything could happen and my joy can still be full. So for me to have that truth, to be a staple in my life, that is a life changer. That is a perspective that gets me from the first day of life to the end of my life, enjoying life. Can't even imagine what heaven's gonna be like if this is what He offers now. I lived 21 years of my life without the joy of Christ, and for me, for someone to not experience that is heartbreaking. It's like for an American to never experience a plate of pasta made by an Italian. Like, you have to experience it because it is incredible. Dio è glorificato in me quando io sono soddisfatta in Lui.